Alright, hey guys, remember CCG back in the video. With this video, I'm bringing you guys an Ancient Gear deck profile, and this is post Legacy of Destruction. Then we're going to get started here with two copies of Ancient Gear Dark Golem. So Ancient Gear Dark Golem has been added in Legacy of Destruction, and this card is extremely powerful. It's able to search out two Ancient Gear cards and or Gear Town from your deck to your hand, and then you do have to discard a card, but that's fine. There's a bunch of cards that do like to be discarded anyways, so we're definitely going to be able to utilize this card. So it's a powerful card that you want to have two cards of. And then one copy of Ancient Gear Golem. It is a little bricky, but you do need to run it for certain effects to go off, and so thus we have the one copy. And same thing with the Ancient Gear Ultimate Pound. Thankfully there are ways of getting these cards out a lot more, where it's a lot more easier, but regardless, if this card is also destroyed on the field, you can add a Polymerization from your deck to your hand, so that can be relevant if you do run it. And then one copy of Therian King Regulus, because it is an Omni Negate for the deck. It's relatively easy to get out, and it's easy to search for as well with the Exceed monster, so it's just a great addition. Three copies of Wyvern, because if this card is normal or special summon, you can add an Ancient Gear card from your deck to your hand, so it's going to let you just search out whatever Ancient Gear card you may need, and it's just a great combo starter. One copy of Ancient Gear Frame, you can discard one card, add one Ancient Gear Golem, or one spell trap that specifically lists the card Ancient Gear Golem from the deck to your hand, and so thus you can use this to search out whatever you really need. And if you need discard fodder, then you have quite a few cards that you can use here. And then we have three copies of Ancient Gear Tanker. This card, if it is normal or special summon, you can special summon one Ancient Gear monster for your hand. So it's great because you can just normal summon this card out and extend from there. And also you can use this to pop whatever face-up card you want, which is great because you can pop something like Gear Town, activate its effect. It's just a great card overall. Two copies of Commander, it's going to let you pitch an Ancient Gear Golem from your hand deck or face-up monster field to the grave. That does mean that it's open to like how many Ancient Gear Golems you want to run. I'm still running one just because it can be a little bricky, but otherwise you can choose to add more or less, it's up to you. And if you normal or special summon an Ancient Gear Golem, you can special summon one Ancient Gear monster from your hand or grave and ignore its summoning conditions. Then we have one copy of Ancient Gear Box. You're going to be able to search this card out, add an Earth Machine type with 500 attack and or defense from your deck to your hand. So you have a few targets here that you're actually going to be able to search out, and thus you can use it, search something out, and then discard it for whatever effect you may need, maybe for a frame or for a Ancient Gear Dark Golem. You just have to make sure you time it right. Like, you don't want to search it up with Dark Golem and then have to discard it immediately. You want to like just make sure that you are going to be able to resolve the effect. And then for the hand traps, we have three Ash Blossoms and three Veilers, three copies of the Ancient Gear Catapult. While you control no monsters, you can target a face-up card you control, destroy it, and if you do, you can special summon one Ancient Gear monster from your deck, ignoring its summoning conditions. So obviously, this is a powerful effect that you can use to either special summon out Ancient Gear Wyvern, search out an Ancient Gear card, summon something out like Ancient Gear Tanker in order to extend your plays, or Dark Golem, search something out. You can see there's a lot of targets for this card, and thus it's very powerful. Two copies of Ancient Gear Fusion, it's going to let you fusion summon like a normal Polymerization, but also being able to use material from your deck can be pretty strong. One copy of Caught by the Grave because of hand traps, three copies of Forbidden Droplet because you're going to be going second a lot. You really want to be able to utilize this effect, especially with something like Tanker. Being able to special summon an Ancient Gear card from your grave is powerful, and you want to have that option open. And Forbidden Droplet really helps you clear out the board. And then we have three copies of Ancient Gear Advance. When this card is activated, you can add an Ancient Gear spell trap from your deck to your hand, and you contribute a monster, draw a card, and if you do, for the rest of the turn, you can normal summon level 5 or higher monsters that are Ancient Gear Golem or mention it without tributing, so it's pretty great. It makes these cards less bricky. Three copies of Fortress. During the turn they were normal or special summon, your opponent cannot target Ancient Gear monsters to control with card effects, and this can also make your fusion monsters a lot stronger, and that's good to see. And besides that, if this card is destroyed in the spell and trap zone, you can special summon one Ancient Gear monster from your hand or grave. Again, a little bit of an extender play, as you see that there's a good amount of cards that can pop things. It's like Ancient Gear Catapult and Tanker. And then Gear Town, of course, being able to special summon an Ancient Gear monster for your hand or deck is powerful. And this card is not a once per turn as well, so you can be able to utilize this effect multiple times. Then we have Ancient Gear Duel, where monsters you control that are Ancient Gear Golem or mention it are unaffected by your opponent's activated monster effects. And if your opponent controls a monster, you can fusion summon using this card. You can use this card, get something out, and it'll have monster effect protection. Alright guys, before we go to the extra deck, if you are enjoying the video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and consider becoming a member to influence the type of content I create and to support the channel. But otherwise, we have two copies of Chaos Ancient Gear Giant. This card is great if you're going second. It's a powerful boss monster. It's unaffected by spell traps. Your opponent cannot activate during the battle phase as well. And then this card can attack all monsters your opponent controls once each. So again, it's just a pretty powerful boss monster to get out. Then we have Ultimate Ancient Gear Golem. That is just, again, another powerful monster to get out for the battle phase. one copy of Ancient Gear Megaton Golem, similar in that sense, but this one here, if this card was fusion summoned using 2 or more Ancient Gear Golem and their Ancient Gear Golem Ultimate Pound as material, you can attack a few more times, so it makes it easier to clean out your board. Then we have 2 copies of Howitzer. It's not the most powerful card. You are able to burn for 1,000, which is nice, but regardless, your opponent's gonna have to find a way to kind of beat over this, especially if you have all their cards out. 1 copy of Zeus, because we do have the Xyz champion, Gigantic Champion Sargus, that's going to be able to search out the Regulus, and of course the Spring and the Merrymaker is just to rank up into it. And then we have something like Appaloosa, where we're able to get a good amount of monsters so we can pack up with Appaloosa. SP Little Knight, just generic powerful card. Same thing with IP Masquerena, goes with it. Platinum Gadget is a really great extender, just because you can special summon a level 4 Lower Machine monster for your hand. So you can see that in the combos, and then Ballista being able to search out an Ancient Gear monster or a Gear Town is pretty powerful, and it also gives you a way to pop a card you control. And for the side deck, I have cards for you to consider. So 1 card would be Ancient Gear Golem, the second copy. If you really want to run the second copy, it could be great, just because we do have something like Commander that really needs it. So sometimes you really want to have a second copy in the deck. And you can see that there's a lot of effects that orient around Ancient Gear Golem. And then we have Ancient Gear Frame, the 3rd copy. If you really like its effect, definitely go for the 3rd copy. And then Ancient Gear Hunting Ground, it's going to be a great way of searching out your Ancient Gear Fusion. And then 1 copy of Ancient Gear Hunting Ground, another way to fusion summon that's built into a monster, which is pretty cool. And Ancient Gear Fusion, the 3rd copy, if you really think you need to go into it more, but I think you're really good with 2 copies. Otherwise here, these are the cards that I want you guys to consider in the future support. So recently we got Ancient Gear Dragon. If you want to see the combos for that, it will be in the top right corner. But otherwise, Ancient Gear Dragon is a great spell trap negate for the deck, and it just gives the deck somewhat of a negate, which is good, just because you can see the deck doesn't have a lot of ways to negate here. And then 1 copy of Ancient Gear Statue, which is a pretty powerful starter for the deck, as if your opponent controls more monsters than you do, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can tribute this card, special summon 1 Ancient Gear Golem or 1 monster that mentions it from your hand or deck. So again, it's a great extender and it doesn't use up your normal summon. But otherwise, if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and all that. And I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.